The secret of the sword will be revealed. We're going to open up the Shera Masters of the Universe Origins figure. This is a great one for me. I actually had the videotape of the Secret of the Sword movie. Watch that all the time. I never got to watch the actual Shera TV show, like other episodes, but that movie introducing her and with He-Man there the whole time, very familiar with this character. So we're going to open up the figure and just talk about Shera and actually what this implies and means for the Origins line, which is very interesting. We can see some Horde troops and some other Hordak stuff that could be coming. While I'm opening it, I'm going to sing my rendition of I Have the Power, so be ready here. Okay, I'm not going to sing it, but it's a pretty awesome song, in my opinion. So here's the comic. Very brief appearance of Shera in it. Pretty lame considering the importance of that character, but what are you going to do? Of course, again, the old figure didn't come on Masters of the Universe packaging, so they have this Princess of Power logo and sticker on there. Let's snip that pack. Very reliant on some cloth pieces to kind of finish out her costume. Much like the old figure that wasn't really part of the Masters of the Universe line's own toy line with Shera, other than some of the bad guys that ended up in the Masters of the Universe line, like Hordak and Leech and characters like that. Of course, the original one had kind of the real sort of doll hair instead of just a plastic, but she definitely has more hair and more curliness going on than I thought, but it's just kind of a big plastic fried egg back here. You can see the cape. The costume and pieces are kind of different than what the original figure would have been. I mean, obviously because it's completely different, but some of the same cloth bits here and there. Got kind of a more elaborate belt. The chest thing is painted differently, with this kind of one side thing is painted weird, and the original just kind of had some gold around it kind of differently. Just different. And of course the face very different there, but I feel like we have the cartoon image here we can directly compare to of how different with the... she would have probably had a shorter cape. Here's like a huge long cape. We just kind of have this kind of see-through for the skirt, a different kind of emblem, and just half for this detail around her bust area. The craziest thing is probably just the crown thing that's just a little too big seemingly to me, and it doesn't really do like the headband kind of thing. So I'm kind of collecting mine more based off of characters that were in the cartoon, and so with that Secret of the Sword movie. So she's definitely very strangely designed and different than the cartoon, but the crown piece, you can turn it upside down and do this sort of mask thing. But she never really did that in the show or anything like that. I guess the story was when they were just kind of test playing, the kids just put it on like this more often than the mask way, so they were just like, well, guess it goes on that way too, so let's take that off. What could be a problem is this chest piece was clearly white originally, and then they painted the skin tone, so that looks like it could be easy to chip away, so be careful with that chest piece on getting paint chips. It looks like the arms, legs, and head all had the skin tone as the plastic, but this looks like it's painted on. And we'll see, I think it's just these little straps are kind of holding this on, so this is all technically removable. And it'd be pretty easy because these are modular figures. They're meant to be, you can pop the arm right out and it'll pop right back in place, no problem. Looks like it's just kind of these little straps where the arms are going to be inside there. Pretty fragile piece, really, so I think the original also had kind of a shinier effect than this is showing. This piece might be a little harder to figure out here. Might not really be... doesn't seem that removable. But to get this back on, we'll just kind of get the loop over the armhole. Pop that back into place. It's a little tough to get back on, and there's probably a couple ways you could kind of do it just to change the look. You kind of get some of it over the neck to get this look from the cartoon and things like that, but I think maybe that modularness helps take it, but it can also hurt because sometimes if you're kind of moving it around, playing with it, the arms and things can pop out easy. So it's a little confusing. Let's look at what she comes with here. Actually pretty accessory heavy with that crown and the cloth parts. of her costume. We have the shield, which on the show it was just her sword could transform into things like a shield and other pieces, so technically she'd have to kind of pick which one was which. And then the sword with the jewel, which is very different than the style the original came with. I can see a little paint mishap here on this side with some of the blue dripped, but this side's pretty good here. I like that they kind of redesigned it to look a little more like He-Man's sword, but I don't know why they didn't just make it the same size. You know, it'd be okay if she just had a big old weapon. I mean, she had the same size sword as He-Man. Really no reason not to just give her the full sword. Or kind of do this half, but have the jewel there. I don't know. I don't think she looks ridiculous with a huge sword like this. And she's Shera, so I don't know. I would have just, if you were gonna redo her sword, I would have just made that exact thing, but with the jewel. But not that this doesn't look terrible. But again, it's kind of weirdly gold. Not even really gold, just the weird yellowy thing they've chosen to make it look a little bit more like the original, but they did completely redesign it. So if you're going to redesign to make it fit with the Masters of the Universe line, why not go all the way? So this is where I'm confused on some of the design things about, you know, you did this with the sticker because it was easier with the shiny kind of prismatic printing. They had to redo all the body parts to make it like other figures, like Tila and things, with the same sort of leg and arm joints and things. So why didn't they kind of change the costume to be a little bit more like the cartoon, or have this kind of headband part to the crown? Why didn't they just go with He-Man's sword but with the jewel painted into it? Why did they not do a shorter cape? Why did they not do this, that, and the other thing? I guess it's just whoever is designing it, it's kind of their choice of which things they're making like the old figure and which things they're redesigning to make it newer. It's just, I would have made different choices, but this is what whoever designed these decided. And it works pretty much for me. I mean, it's got all the color elements and things of the cartoon design. It's got all the elements of the original toy, if I would have ever got to have that, which I would have gladly had Shera alongside a He-Man figure. You can claim that toy line was for, you know, intended for girls or whatever, but it's whatever toys you want to play with. Is, you know, I would have had Shera fighting alongside He-Man with my toys just fine back in the day. So, and I would have brushed her freaking hair with the comb that this one doesn't come with, so you couldn't have stopped me. I mean, the toy lines were pretty much intermixed anyway. If you wanted Hordak, you had to buy a Masters of the Universe toy to get Hordak, so naturally you get some of the characters from the Shera line, and frankly it just should have all went together. So He-Man has his Battle Cat, so I don't know if Shera will get her Swiftwind or not. People act like the Shera stuff isn't going to really come for this line, even though we got the main character and the main villain is coming in Hordak. Apparently there's some sort of discrepancy about the characters, but you know, Shera never came on a Masters of the Universe card back, but here she is, and we've already got some other Horde minions announced. So I don't know, I feel like if you're making toys, I mean, they just have to ask. You're implying that somebody can't just ask and say, hey, can we make, you know, Catra, Mantenna, can we mix and match this line? I think they'll be able to, because you just do it. I don't know. You get the permissions. I don't see who's going to stop more toy and a character awareness of lines, no matter who owns which thing exactly, with He-Man and Shera together. But if not, then at least, you know, we have Shera, we'll have Hordak coming, some major bits there, but I would like to see a lot more characters across the board, like Bo, Glimmer, definitely Catra. I'd like to see some kind of interpretations of characters that didn't get made that were in the shows, like Scorpina and things like that. That'd be really awesome. Get a lot more women in the line to use some of these molds and parts and designs. I mean, you might as well use them, and I would gladly welcome any character that was in the movie of The Secret of the Sword, because I used to watch it all the time. Same with episodes of just Masters of the Universe. There's definitely things I would have liked more of this, like curlier, bigger hair like her cartoon form, with kind of the piece still fitting over, but maybe a redesigned piece instead of this mask one, although I get the vintage appeal of that. It's just stuff I never got to have as a kid. Even He-Man I didn't get to have, so getting all this now, it's nice that there is a combination of the old style, but with some revisions and things, although I feel like some of these revisions are cheaper than what the original figures even came with. with kind of this dull gold, kind of yellow mustard. But you can see here, you know, it's a darker kind of gold and things. I think it's maybe just the kind of the hair that you can see where this is covered with a crown. It's just giving it a different appearance. See where a lot of people are saying it's more like Princess Adora, more where you release the Adam figure, so kind of change the costume and have like an Adora figure. If you could have it come with Spirit transforming into Swiftwind, I definitely welcome something like that. So I guess I'll just be grateful that we even have Shera in this line. I would have settled just for all Masters of the Universe, but having that Secret of the Sword movie be a big part of what I used to watch, at least we got Shera. And if there's more, great. If not, that is sad, but at least we got the big one, the main Shera herself. So open up all my Masters of the Universe stuff here and all my other collectible things, so get subscribed. Check out all the playlists, and I will close with my full rendition of I Have the Power, the music video and song from the movie. Okay, I'm not gonna sing. It's a pretty cool song, though. Not gonna lie.